welcome back to the video. Folks, I've been thinking lately about where I've been. 2024 has finally hit and I want to change some things. Not channel-wise, but, well, actually, yes, channel-wise, but that's upload speed. I was off on holiday at an undisclosed location and thought, once I'm back on the grind of working. Not just at work, but at home on videos. At a schedule that I would start on ASAP in the new year. Until it hit me. And that hit being something in my stomach and making me sicker than I've ever been. And not only that, but also being over 40 degrees weather where I live. Yeah, if I could describe how I was feeling for the past 3 weeks, it would be that one scene in Dumb and Dumber after Lloyd laces Harry with laxatives that just make him shit on the toilet constantly. Thankfully though, there's no more of that, at least not as frequently, and with that, I'm officially back in 2024 with a new video. And just wanted to say thanks for waiting, it's really appreciated, but moving on from that, I wanted to get into the first video of the year finally. Folks, 2023 was a year with ups and downs throughout like any year, especially when it comes to 2023 in video games. When a Spider-Man 2 releases, Fortnite announces layoffs. When a Baldur's Gate 3 releases to high praises, Embracer Group shuts down studios because they're fucking stupid idiots who should have their hanging fruit stapled to a desk.
No, it's been a rough night.
Moving on from that, I wanted to be late to the party and have my share of games I loved of 2023. To talk about now what I'm calling the top games of 2023. Not just the top 10 stuff that people usually do, just top games. If they're in this list, they're the top for me. But there is a tippy top as well that we will get to. But first I want to start with another category when it comes to 2023 that's not related to the top. Starting off with something that's quite embarrassing for me for 2023, and that's the category I'm calling the Walk of Shame. A category where I have yet to finish these games even after 2024, but I will hopefully get back to at some point. This list is rather shameful as it's some big named games that it's just like, you didn't finish that? And it's like, yeah, I didn't. It was a big year for games, guys. Let's start with one that I'm quite shameful of. Well, I am with most of them, but this one's quite shameful for me. Pizza Tower. Now, I love this game so much, and I was late to the party though with this game, as I had no clue what this game was until after January. And let me tell you, it's the best. It plays great, fun-ass levels, great character design, awesome music, and also a random one, plays great on Steam Deck. I play this bad boy currently a lot on there, and it's the bomb. I just wish I had more time to enjoy it, but I will eventually, which is how most of this list really is. Next up, System Shock Remake. One game I was really excited to get my hand into, and did, but had to stop for one thing that's being in the right headspace for it. I think System Shock Remake is great from what I played, but delving more and more into it, didn't take me long to go, I'm just not ready for this game yet. I'm making sure 2024 is though, but at this point in time, just not yet. I love the combat and puzzles, Remake looks stunning, and above all else, I really do want to play this since I've never played a System Shock game before this one. Next up is Final Fantasy 16, which is an insane thing as I love Final Fantasy, but I guess just not enough to finish 16. It's great. Clive is an awesome character, music is nuts, graphics are nuts, gameplay is awesome, but I think it came at a time where I was already busy as is with games, and one had to be stopped, and 16 was the one that had to be stopped. It is going to be played really soon. I've been needing that next game, and 16 is one for sure that I will be going through. I've really been in the mood for it, so I really think it's time. Last but not least, the most shameful one for me though has to be Baldur's Gate 3. After over 20 hours in the game, I took a break, mainly because when it came out fully, I was moving house, and then once moved in, more games just came out, but it's everything I want in a game and more. But that more is the commitment for me. It's a big long game for me, and I really just need to sit down and enjoy it all. I have a plan for it very soon, but at least for now, I think Final Fantasy will come first and then Baldur's Gate 3. But those were my Walk of Shames, and I'm hopeful 2024 I'll have them marked off this list. Moving on from that though, I think it's time I went into the games of 2023, the ones I finished and want to talk about, the top games of mine. We'll start at the bottom and work our way up to the tippy top, but if you know me, you can probably guess my top game already, but hey, before we go in, remember, it's my list of games. They're probably very different to yours, and if you've got a problem with me, okay, share your list in the comments section. Everyone's got different thoughts, and I'm just here for the ride anyways. So, without further ado, let us begin. It's really surprising that I put this on my list, but I wanted to talk about it even though it's just edging the bottom of my top list. I was planning to do a review of this game last year, but just had no time to when I planned it. But Mirage is the first Assassin's Creed I've beaten since 2015. That's for many reasons, mainly just how big the game's got, and also the gameplay becoming more RPG-like and less of a stealth Assassin's game. But with Mirage, it was being talked about as this sort of back to basics for OG fans like me. Much smaller map, more Assassin's focus, and just less crazy combat. I think Mirage did good stuff that I hope they stick with more in the future games. However, the real thing that's dampening the game is that story. It really needs improvements if they plan to go further, because my god, this game was drier than the deserts of Mirage's open world. I get if you played Valhalla it would be better since Basim is the character of Valhalla, but even then, it is a prequel that was just boring. None of the story went anywhere except until the very end, but at that point I was really just switched off and was only there for the gameplay and side activities, which were fun. I love the contracts board you had at the Assassin's HQs, do these different side quests and all that for the Creed to help them out, and it really got me thinking. I think to get a current gen Assassin's Creed game just on assassinating targets would be really fun, kind of like if Hitman 3 was in the Assassin's Creed universe. I don't know though, probably won't happen since Ubisoft has the next 10 games in the universe planned, but we'll see. Maybe some lightning bolt hits the heads of Ubisoft and they do a full 180 into doing great games all the time again. Starfield is the first game from Bethesda since Fallout 76, and is their first Xbox exclusive game. And was it good? Well, it depends on the person you ask. It's in my top game, so I can say it was good, but I can see why people dislike the game. And there's plenty of people talking about it out there with either reasons that make sense, or just meme reasons.
Sorry, did you want to get immersed in our world? Yeah, well, guess what? Fucking
Starfield was an interesting experience for me as I think I did really enjoy it, but enjoyed it even more thanks to where I was when it came out. A little bit of a weird story here, but it had been a while since I had time off work to enjoy a game, but Starfield was my first in a while, and at the time of release, me and my roommate I was living with were both waiting for the game to release. The game finally released and we both got home after getting our copies and enjoyed the game, both immediately doing different things. I went story focused and then off to side quests, while they went to enjoy the space of the world and have things happen to them randomly that were different. Just really enjoyed that sharing different paths in this ginormous open universe thing. And I also just really loved the custom characters. A little off from the story, but I just really enjoyed the custom characters this time around. Mainly how your character could have parents, have a house, or be a religious freak for a Python in space. Sadly not my Python. I think it was a great game though, and that first day was great fun. And after that I just enjoyed it more and more. I had my problems for sure. I really disliked not having DLSS at launch, an issue now resolved, but also wasn't a big fan of the companions either. None of them stood out for me and just sort of had them around as extra muscle for me throughout the game. I did love the ship customization a lot, it was the bomb, and love a game that slowly lets me improve to become a huge problem for everyone in the game. And I enjoyed a good amount of the story and side quest content, especially faction quests. There's something about joining these factions and just messing with their factions in a way, it just felt great fun to me, except for one that I actually fucking hated playing, and that was the business focused one on Neon. I can't remember the name, but I'm glad that I don't, because I fucking hated it that much, and I'm sure if I remember the name and someone said it, I'd be triggered to grab them and strangle them. That was just dog shit, but that's how the game is at times. Good, but then bad. Do I want to choke people every time I think about the bad of Starfield? No, but I'm just saying that Neon thing was bad, and yeah, I mean, like I said, good and bad, that's the loop that I wish it didn't have, but it does. Now, this was a game I was very excited for and did deliver for the most part. I've been a fan of Diablo since 3, as I wasn't a PC gamer growing up, except for like some games on the family computer. Lego Pizza Island being one of the games I played.
Whoops, you have to put the bricks to stick in your mouth down at the jail.
But Diablo sadly wasn't one of the games I was playing, but 3 did grab me since it came to consoles as well. Since then though, I've been a fan of it, and I was certain Diablo 4 would be a good hit and would sell really well, and also that a lot of people would love it for the most part. I found myself really enjoying the game, but after some time needing big breaks from it when I could, longest being a good 4 days after release. There's something about it that I was like, this is fun, but I'm playing way too much for that at the moment. I finished the story and went through with my Necromancer character and was hopeful that I'd hit 50 before Season 1 hit, but I got to level 49 with my Necromancer character and realized I was done with this game for the time being. One of those what am I doing moments, mainly from I already have so much I need to play, man. I just don't have time for this. So even though I didn't hit level 100 or even 50 or bought any of the horrible microtransactions, I still think I got a good shake out of Diablo 4. And that's about enough I need of it for now. I'm sure once it's on Game Pass soon enough and the first expansion releases, I'll give it another shakedown. But for now, I just thought it was a good time, especially with the people I played it with. Those world events were damn fun to do with randoms and friends, man. I do know more people are talking a lot more badly about Diablo 4 now, but I don't really know what's going on with it. I do remember when the game launched, of course, it was getting bad reception, but it's just more of those things where it's just like, I don't know what's going on. I'm sure I could talk about it, but I'm sorry, but I just haven't been playing the game since, so I really should look into it more. But hey, I had a good time with Diablo 4 when it launched. If it's not playing as good now, then that really sucks. Bet you didn't expect this one, huh? Now, I've shared my sense already about this game, so don't need to get into it much, but even after my complaints with it regarding its really dogshit bugs and glitches, it still had a good story through it. Looking back on it, I can't not think about its really good moments and reveals, which I won't get into here because of spoilers, but it's good shit, man. It's been ages since I've enjoyed Star Wars content, and Jedi Survivor was a real treat for me, and it's sort of got me into wanting more Star Wars again. I'm currently going through Andor as we speak, and hopeful to have it done soon, because boy did I miss out when it was releasing. Other than that though, if you want more thoughts on Jedi Survivor, click the video about it, I did already. And yeah, it's a broken mess, but it still had a good ass story and gameplay that I enjoyed. Out of any of the games that surprised me the most this year, this game is up there. I didn't expect this game to be good at all, let alone in my top games of 2023. Immortals of Aveum is an EA original following Jack, a man who becomes an immortal during a war of Doctor Stranges and a first-person shooter but with magic and gear systems like Destiny. This doesn't sound like a cup of tea for everyone, and it honestly won't be. It wasn't for me either at first, as I thought that it was a terrible time to launch at the same time as games like Armored Core, Mortal Kombat, and so many more games coming soon. It was a crazy time to launch this new IP out of nowhere. But during the downtime I had while I had finished these games, I had heard more rumbles about the game, and very positive ones that it was a good game, switch off your brain and have fun and just wait for a sale. And I did that. I bought a copy on Steam when on sale and had my mind blown. To describe it, think of it as a first-person shooter released in the 2010s for the Xbox 360 and PS3, that if you pre-ordered it got PSN avatars or Xbox avatar skins. That brings me back. Immortals was even more than that though. I had so much more fun than I expected for this game, and if anything, I blame EA for marketing this game way too much and just not better marketing that came out for this game. It was just too much marketing that wasn't great, and it didn't show me this cool stuff that the game had, like explorable open areas, side quests, and instead we got too much of showing something I feel we didn't want to see. Just this gameplay that looked cool but with dialogue if it was written by Joss Whedon back in 2012. 2023 was such a stacked year, and I would say if this game had come out in December or January, it might have gotten more traction, but I don't really know. It's really sad to hear about the team getting layoffs though, as they were really up against Titans last year, but it's just another case of bad release dates for games by EA. Got Titanfall 2 in between Battlefield and Call of Duty. Sorry, that was a really bad cough there. There's a funny story with Risk of Rain Returns is that when I first ever heard of Risk of Rain and I played it, I wasn't a huge fan of it when it was first released, and it was the same for Risk of Rain 2, but when I started playing it with friends more and more, it was then I realized I love Risk of Rain 2, and to hear Risk of Rain getting a return was, well, my interest was piqued, of course. And it was good peaking, as Risk of Rain Returns killed it, getting me really into it this time around, playing with friends again, but seeing how this game was originally through its remake was awesome, and I'm still able to play it when I can. There's just a great addiction of wanting to get better and better in the game, and boy howdy I love a game that has good upgrades to your character. Risk of Rain, everyone's played at this point, whether 1 or 2, but be sure to give Returns a chance, as it's just good fun throughout, and nothing beats going to a random planet with your bros and blasting some aliens. It's funny, even before ranking this list, that I knew that when Mario Bros. Wonder was announced, it was going to be in this list. I just wasn't sure how much of a top Mario would really be though. Wonder was an amazing game throughout, and man, it's a pretty looking game. I loved its music, I loved its levels, and I loved its difficulty that I would sometimes get mad at a bit too much, but hey, that's because my reaction time can be shit at times, and boy howdy do I really miss when I had great reaction time. Wonder though was damn good stuff, and I'm glad I gave it the time to play it, as it just stuck with me, especially the addition of the Wonder Seeds to transform levels into a what if, you know, like what if Mario ate the wrong mushroom sort of scenario. It's fun, it's wholesome, and plays great through and through, and it's a pretty long time to fucking finish the game as well. That game took me a lot longer than I expected, but that's okay. Just meant more Mario for me to enjoy until the next 3D Mario. Surely soon. Surely Odyssey 2. Surely. Nintendo? This game was a really big surprise for me being on this list. Development hell for so many years, and not only that, finally being released but by the people who did Homefront: The Revolution was not a good idea to me, but surprise surprise, it came out in April and really surprised me. It wasn't the best game in the world or anything, story was quite just okay, but it had that fun to it I really loved, and that amazing gore system. I mean, every hit and damage to a zombie was shown, and it was fucking badass. Sometimes just sitting there wailing at a lifeless zombie corpse for ages at points. Other than that, I loved the weapons on display, especially by the end of the game for me. Even after finishing the story, I just kept going and going, and by the end of my play with this game, my entire weapon wheel was just exotic weapons in the game. So when the first DLC came out, House, I just went around through that quicker than an insert joke here. Wait, what? Insert joke here? I didn't write a joke here? That would have been easy as hell. How did I not come up with a joke? I'm flabbergasted, to be honest. I don't know what to do in this situation. It went through quicker than diarrhea. Yeah, that was bad. Alright, let's move on. This game was a good ass time, but even though it's on top, it's still a bit of a bottom, as its quests throughout the game were quite boring from time to time, and then that story just wasn't really good. It was fun to play through, but that's about it when it comes to the story. I'm happy it came out at this time though, as it was a good palate cleanser for me, to just be able to play it in the background while I played through other games or listened to a podcast I needed to. And also, I pretty much almost got every achievement in this game except 2 challenge ones and then the co-op achievements, since nobody I knew bought this fun as hell game, but that's on them missing out, because I had a great time. Dead Island 2 is a great switch off your brain and have fun game. I know, this one's really surprising. Not only was there 2 Assassin's Creed games this year, but one of them was a VR exclusive. Wild, I know. Nexus is the latest Assassin's Creed game and is sadly an exclusive to the Quest headset. It's the usual setup for these games, but it follows your character reliving through stories of the assassin's past, with you playing through 3 different characters in Assassin's Creed Nexus, from Ezio, Connor, and Cassandra, exploring various open levels. And let me tell you, this really shocked me, especially being so high on my top list. I didn't think it was going to be so fluid with how it worked, its gameplay and all that. From the get-go when I bought this game, I assumed it was going to be a really short game where you played in enclosed levels, and that was really it. But no, there's actually fully explorable places from this game. Boston, Greece, and Venice, and includes great ways to get through the levels, where you can be as stealthy as you want or as action-packed as you want. The stealth play is great here, and there's something satisfying as hell stabbing a guy with your hidden blade and actually having to do the motion. It just really still surprises me how well it works. And not only that, but the parkour as well plays great. You might get motion sickness from time to time, but the accessibility options are pretty damn good here to help with that. I'm just really surprised a Ubisoft game got into my top games of this year, but that's what's really needed with these types of series, you know, innovation. Assassin's Creed has been around for over 10 years now, and it really sucks it takes this long sometimes to get some real change, and also just made me really want to return to some of these characters. I miss Ezio and Connor, man. Wish we'd get another game with either, but doubtful since their stories wrapped up well, and we don't need current Ubisoft doing anything to butcher them. We don't want a fucking gear system for this bullshit. Other than that though, this was a top-notch VR game and a fun as hell Assassin's Creed game. Really surprised with this one. For the longest time, I've been waiting for this game to release since its first announcement. I've been a part of the technical tests and betas and had been for the longest time, and I was certain surely the game would be out in 2023, until December when I thought, oh man, this might not be coming out. But come the Game Awards night, and lo and behold, the best thing ever happened, and instead of just giving a date, they said, it's out right now. And I was so damn happy. I was ready to destroy an entire building with a sledgehammer with my excitement. In a video game. The finals has been that shot to my veins I've needed lately for multiplayer games.
Just took it to my veins!
I play a few in rotation lately, Fortnite and COD being the mainstays currently, but slowly COD's been nudged out as it's been Fortnite or the finals, as this game has been amazing to play. I play it almost every night, and unlike other games when I lose, I don't care when I lose in this game. I had damn good fun throughout the match and the night, which was all that mattered to me in the end. But when I win, oh baby. I feel like DJ Khaled before him and Tyler the Creator's albums released at the same time. Embark is the studio behind this gem, and it's from ex-Battlefield devs, and more that aren't ex-Battlefield devs of course. You can just feel that Battlefield history in there, which I love. I'm a big fan of and always have been of Battlefield's destructible environments, and though it's been lacking it feels for the past 2 games, the finals pretty much said, yeah, we felt that too, so we decided to let you blow up the entire map if you wanted to. And man oh man is it the best. From trying to steal the vault for yourself to holding your ground, getting the win, anything can be blown up or destroyed. The best is playing a heavy with the charge ability and just knocking a building down with the vault in it. So damn good every damn time. The other thing I love is the weapon and class selection. You have 3 forms, light, medium to heavy, all with different abilities and weapons, and it is hard to say which is my real favorite, even with my love of the heavy's charge, as I'm usually changing each round. They all play great. I think my only issue with this game I have, like many people do, is the use of AI voices. I get that it was probably cheaper and they want to get out more interactable voice lines when they can, but playing the game for so long now, what is the AI doing that a real voice actor couldn't do? Even with things like the Christmas announcements during Christmas, that doesn't change anything about the argument. You're telling me the addition of a voice actor quickly coming in and going in its raining presence and meteors is really a hard thing to do? Come on, brother. Aside from this though, I do think the finals is really just the best of the best right now, and just really hope it's able to stand on its own for a good while, because I'm really hopeful to be playing this game for a good ass while. This was a no-brainer to be on here. Spider-Man 2 was awesome, guys. I mean, the expanded world, the updated traversal, playing both Miles and Peter, it was awesome. I mean, from that opening alone, I was hooked on this game. It came out release day and then I platted it in less than a week. You're probably asking yourself a question right now, and yes, I am a foul nerd. It was a really damn fun time, people, but not everything was up to par compared to Spider-Man 1 and Miles Morales. Don't come at me with pitchforks, but when it comes to story, those 2 games did it better. But everything else Spider-Man 2 did was better than Miles Morales and Spider-Man 2018. Side activities, combat, gameplay, traversal, outfits, there's no Bagman yet, so. But everything about the game was just better compared to those games. It was just that story, I think. It was still great and had some great story beat, was just missing that punch I feel 2018 and Miles had. Venom was great though. I feel him and the symbiote itself played great, especially with Yuri's fantastic performance as Peter. I think Spider-Man 2 was amazing, and there just can't be much else said about Spider-Man 2 that no one else has said. It was great, and glad to see the great positivity from the Spider-Man fans lately. I'm really happy they took the high road with these games that won at the Game Awards.
We all know what it is. Come on. Tell me.
Baldur's Gate 3.
Just like this top list has been for me lately, this was a real huge surprise for me as well, mainly because I had no clue it was releasing. I'm sure that someone out there said, OMG, Tango is working on something not horror related. I more or less probably just blanked it out like I usually do when I drink a bottle of Jack's every night. So when this game dropped out of nowhere, I was excited to check it out, and boy howdy was this game right up my alley. There's something about cel-shaded games and also just cel-shaded rhythm games that always really get me. So I reeled me in harder than a phishing scam. I love the gameplay, I love the characters, and I really loved the boss battles so damn much in this game. Some of the best parts as well were how well it goes from the cutscenes to actual gameplay, especially one where it goes from cutscene to gameplay so instantly. It was just the best thing to see in real time. A real nice like whoa came out of my mouth when I noticed it. Not only was this game just amazing throughout, it keeps Tango Gameworks close to me, and I'm able to remind everyone that this studio needs to be looked at plenty when it comes to new games. Evil Within 1 and 2, Ghostwire Tokyo, and now this game. I mean, people really need to keep their eyes peeled for whatever they do next, whether it's a sequel to Hi-Fi, Evil Within, please, and just a new IP in general. I knew this game would end up in my top games when it got announced, but wasn't sure it would be either really high or low. I wasn't really too sure. Of course, I never really should doubt myself again, and Resident Evil, because holy shit, I loved this game. Resident Evil 4 Remake is the remake of the original Resident Evil 4, and to say the team at Capcom behind RE2 Remake were stepping on eggshells while a bomb beat loudly on their chest would be an easier challenge than having to remake Resident Evil 4. The best Resident Evil game to many people and to me, this was an undertaking, but they succeeded in more ways ways than one. The original stays close to my heart always, but RE4 Remake does really great things throughout. The remake itself is astonishing and amazing. I mean, I knew it would be thanks to the works on 2 and 3, but my god, man. Can you imagine games like Code Veronica with a remake like this? Fucking hell. Sick. I also love the world this time around even more. It's much more horrifying, especially the village part, and I just loved exploring it throughout, getting every collectible I could and just getting most weapons fully upgraded. Most, not all. It was kind of tricky when it came to upgrading weapons at times. There was something about having to sell my weapons to upgrade. It's always been like that with me with Resident Evil 4, but the fact that if I want to get more weapons upgraded, I would probably have to sell my guns. I was like, no, I can't do it. I can't sell my Red 9. I also think the characters worked great through this game and just feels like a great continuation of the events of RE2 Remake. I specifically want to give praise to the upgrade they've given to Ashley as a character. I feel she works even better in this game compared to the original Resident Evil 4. And before anyone goes at me with pitchforks, it sounds like I am complaining about the original 4, saying these things, but really I'm not. RE4 Remake works so well as its own version of events. They both suit the stories they both share. Even if I'm gushing about Remake, don't take it as me putting down OG4. That shit's close to my heart, folks. I fucking love Resident Evil 4. Aside from this though, if you haven't already, please give 4 a playthrough. Whether Remake or the OG, I highly recommend them. And if you do play 4 as your first game, maybe play 2 first. It just feels great to play those back to back in my opinion. This game has what I loved a lot of. Cel-shaded graphics, music game where you're a punk. Pretty much Jet Set Radio, but with plenty more of what Jet Set needed. Sex. Nice and rough. None of it in the game. None of the game has sex in it, but you know, it just has that sex appeal to it. Sex. Bomb Rush was another surprise for me, which is great. 2023 really hit me with surprises. Like, a game like Bomb Rush just came out of nowhere for me, and had only heard about it a few months before release. Following your character Red and his graffiti art fight against other gangs of the city and the police of the city. Oh, and also your head gets chopped off at the start of the game and you get a robot head and have to get it back. This game has it all though, and I love it all. I especially love the music, which I even added to my playlist so I can listen to it when working out or running at women at night to make sure they get home safe. But it really is some of the best around. There isn't a day that goes by where I don't not think about the music. It slaps harder than slapping my grandfather as he walks down the stairs.
Yo, yo, yo! Ah!
Of course, gameplay as well plays great. I love games like this where it gives me reminders of my beloved Tony Hawk Pro Skater days and Jet Set Radio, and it just does that perfectly throughout. The only thing that I did wish they worked on a little more was just the combat itself. It felt quite floaty, but wasn't the biggest nuisance. Only when I started noticing was it a problem, but didn't stop me from finishing this amazing game, which I would say should be on more radars, as it's a great game through and through. It's not for everyone, but when is a game for everyone, really? This game is not for everyone, but it should be. RoboCop Rogue City is the best. If you were to tell me the developers who did that Rambo the video game back in 2013 were doing a RoboCop game, I'd stare at you in horror and say there's no god. But before this, they did Terminator Resistance, which was pretty good, and then with RoboCop, they've jumped over the ring of fire they were supposed to go through, and instead made an amazing hoop into a basketball hoop, and made an amazing RoboCop game that looks beautiful and makes Alex Murphy's lips very lusciously puffy.
He's got the most kissable fucking lips.
He does have perfect fucking lips.
This game's first achievement you can get is called Zip It Up Buddy, and it's for shooting a guy in the dick. And from then on, I was hooked. So 5 minutes into the game, pretty much. As a RoboCop fan, I've ate good with this game, and really have high hopes for what the team does next. I truly love this game through and through, and just, it plays amazing and works amazing together. Characters are scummy, RoboCop is justice, blood spurts every shot you make pretty much, throw guys super far, a skill tree with upgrades I wanted, and a great story with just as good or even better side quests. Specifically the one about working a desk at the station and arresting a guy for coming in to get his award money for being wanted. What else do you need from a game, honestly? Even if you're not a fan of the game, you'll most likely get the gist of it, but give yourself a treat and sit down, watch RoboCop, and even maybe RoboCop 2 if you like, and then play this game and enjoy it, because it's one hell of a ride. And if you're still feeling like more RoboCop after, don't watch 3. Watch the remake instead, which is just, it's okay. Cyberpunk has been in my head since its release in 2020, and that's mainly because I've kept up to date with it throughout its 3 years of trying to fix a sinking ship. But like that one Simpsons episode, there were springs in the water, so they had plenty of time to save this ship and everyone on it, thanks to the 2.0 update and the inclusion of their expansion Phantom Liberty, which is one of the best expansions I've ever played, up there with Blood and Wine, Delicious Last Course, Assault and Dragon's Keep, and many more. Not sure what my full hours are with Phantom Liberty, but it was much longer and bigger than I expected. I think with replaying the campaign, the total runtime was over 72 hours, but that's including the original campaign. I reckon maybe 20 plus of those were for Phantom Liberty. Everything about this expansion was the best addition to Cyberpunk. My only gripe being how they get the expansion started, but it would have been hard to figure out where to start it anywhere in the game. The moment you start the expansion, it's straight to 10 with its opening introduction, thanks to the introduction of Songbird, destruction in Dogtown, and a boss fight I won't detail, but it was nutty to say the least. After that, it's a race against the clock still for V, only now involving espionage and a spy thriller starring the best addition to Cyberpunk since Keanu Reeves, Idris Elba. He steals the show throughout as a cold sleeper agent who is the last choice for your mission in Dogtown, but up to me, he would have been the first. There's so much to this expansion that is just amazing, and I loved every bit of it. I'm a huge fan of Cyberpunk, but won't endorse them for the big fuck up of 2020 they did with 2077, but they've really fixed this ship, as I said. Not only fixed it, but added on one of the best expansions available these days. And I for one feel very annoyed that people who never played Cyberpunk in 2020 get to enjoy the 2.0 update and expansion for the first time, and I just really hope they enjoy it so much. It's not like I wanted to enjoy the game for the first time like this. Have so much fucking fun. Anyways, play the game. It's great now. It's really, really good. Of course this game would be high on the list. Are you crazy? Tears of the Kingdom was the bomb. I mean, god damn it, was it better than I expected. The sequel to Breath of the Wild had big boots to fill, but it not only grew into the shoes, but it added 2 giant robots with penises on them, because you can do that in Tears of the Kingdom. I love this game through and through and took my time with this amazing game. Going from end to end of its map, I explored and upgraded like crazy. Mainly because I didn't want to get one-hitted by enemies in the desert or Ganondorf this game, but this was just the best through and through. And I actually have a pretty funny story when it comes to the release of this game. I remember picking up my game on a day I was working from home at my old job, and a surprise meeting happened while I had just started to play it. This meeting just kept going and going, but I decided to do something I never did before and say to the team, "Hey guys, sorry I gotta go, I have a doctor's appointment." And wouldn't you know it, they believed me and let me go on my merry way to play more Tears. I'm not sure how many more hours I spent in this game, but it was definitely a ton. And let me tell you, that was the best feeling ever to say that I had to leave the meeting early just to play more Tears of the Kingdom. If my old boss is somehow watching this video and knows who I am, hi. Thanks for letting me leave early for a doctor's appointment. Cheers. I'm not sure how many hours I'd spent in this game, but it was definitely a ton because I didn't just finish the story. I crafted, I traveled, and looked for the best armors I could for Link as well, and I just knew I would need those armors from the experience with Breath of the Wild. This game adds to an already 10 out of 10 game and feels like Nintendo went, okay, we know the game is perfect, but we had some things left over that we'd like to add to the game and make new additions. Go times 10 for this game. Truly one of the top games of 2023, and that is a reason to have it almost at the tippy top. If you haven't already played this game, I don't know why you haven't, but play this amazing game. If you know me or are me somehow, then you know how much Dead Space means to me. So of course, the announcement of this remake was just like Resident Evil 4 for me. Only this time there were eggshells and a beeping bomb on their ass cheeks. But EA Motive killed it with this game. Not only from just making it look beautiful, but adding to this game. Isaac can talk this time, the Ishimura's explorability is just on top in this game, and its side content and everything else in between just makes it better. After finishing it, I went straight to New Game Plus and finished it easy, and still have to finish it just one more time on an impossible for the achievement, but I will soon, I'm sure. More reason to just play this game again, which is just fine with me. If you've never played Dead Space, then this is the best way to play the original. The original is still amazing, but this is truly the best way to play Dead Space 1, and I feel that if they're given the chance to do it, they should 100% remake 2 and 3. Mainly with Dead Space 3 though, just do a start from scratch with that. Like EA Motive, do your own thing with that. Just remove that co-op shit and all the microtransaction weapon crafting crap as well. There's really just no complaints I have with this game, and it just works amazing. And it's a great reminder that Dead Space was and still is an amazing series that deserves more love. EA, you know what to do. Well, you don't because you marketed Immortals of Avium terribly, but you know what to do with Dead Space, I'm sure. Just let you know, EA. Remake 2 and start from scratch with free. Keep that note at EA. Oh, and do Titanfall free. Get your fingers out of your nose and ass, please. I mean, is anyone surprised by this? Alan Wake 2 I've spoken a ton about already, so there's not much left to say, but I will say this. Being able to go through this game after waiting so long for it was one of the best feelings I've had in a video game, up there with the first time I played Bioshock, the vault opening on Fallout 4, and so many other great moments from my gaming history. Alan Wake 2 is more than I asked for and excites me for whatever Remedy has next. Will it be up there with Alan Wake 2? I'm not sure, but I'll be there. And boy howdy, I'm excited for wherever the DLCs go for Alan Wake 2. New Game Plus has been great to play through, but it'll be interesting to see where it goes. I hope it's good stuff, and to add on to an already great game that I 100%ed on everything will be a challenge, but if Remedy is doing it, I've got a good trust in them for what's next with Alan Wake and beyond. And as I said in my Alan Wake 2 video, if you haven't watched it already, link included, be sure to get the game. It's worth every penny. And if you're looking for something different, this is just the perfect game for it. Alan Wake 2 is the topper of 2023 for me. And that was my top games of 2023. I of course missed out on some games, but that's mainly because they just didn't hit that top of 2023 either, because I didn't feel they did or just didn't play enough to warrant it. I think Street Fighter 6 was a great fighter, especially compared to MK1, but it didn't make my list as just didn't put enough time into it. So many games had already taken my time. Street Fighter will still be a game I play, but just from time to time. I never played Avatar, but that's because I didn't want to play another fucking open world Ubisoft game with a fucking gear system and microtransactions. Boy howdy, that sounds exhilarating. Like a Dragon, The Man Who Erased His Name isn't played yet, also Ishin, as I'm actually doing a replay through of the Yakuza games at the moment, so we'll get to them soon this year, just doing a replay since Infinite Wealth is this year. But there were just so many other great games out there that just didn't make it into the list, but it was still a banger year anyways. And if there's any that I missed, I'll be sure to get to them very soon. I'm sure maybe even Avatar someday, or I might even finish Atomic Heart sometime in the very, very, very far, far, far away future. Yeah, I didn't like Atomic Hearts. Other than that though, thank you all so much for watching. Remember, my list of top games can be different from yours, and that's okay. What were yours? Let me know. And as always, thank you so much for watching. It's appreciated.